There are no rules but one. Drink Jägermeister at minus 18 degrees Celsius.
So obviously we were talking about your first run at NXT.
Mm-hmm.
But truly, I think some of your best work comes from your second run at NXT, 2018, 2019, 20. You had great tag team work, and you also had a great solo work. What was different to you now coming into the NXT, now returning? How different were you, and how different was NXT this time?
It was very different, very different. So not only had NXT kind of become different to where, again, the first time around, it was very much on the upswing to where everybody was, who you were going to see as stars in the next 3, 4, 5 years. Now it had kind of turned into like
third brand.
Yeah, a little bit. And you knew what you were going to expect with NXT. Like before it was kind of a mystery and you were almost like pleasantly surprised. Now you almost have an expectation of what NXT is going to be. So it definitely changed in terms of that and in terms of, how long it had been around and what people expected out of it and stuff like that. And then as a performer, like me as Tyler Breeze, the character, I'd really switched, kept the original, I guess, why you latched onto that character and why you, cared about him. But we had gone through a lot at that point. I had kind of done, the entire original Tyler Breeze stuff in NXT, the original Tyler Breeze stuff up on Raw and SmackDown, myself and Fandango teaming up, getting into the Fashion Files stuff to where that added a whole new chapter to what Tyler Breeze could be, which, again, it's, if you watch back,
Files.
Yeah, like if you watch back to the NXT stuff, it's very much, self-centered, model who just cares about himself and all this other stuff. Fashion Files really opened up, a whole different kind of side to where you went, man, this guy's kind of like a funny idiot, and like they just do this stuff and they just do whatever, we're okay and we still get forgiven and they love us because because we're making them laugh. And adding that part to it really kind of lets you almost relax to where you're untouchable. You can do anything, and even if you mess up or even if you're wrong on something, the fans are still going to go, man, I love this guy. He's just so like fun to watch, And adding that aspect back into the NXT part, the main thing, and I remember even talking to Triple H about this coming back, the key on why like a group like D-Generation X worked is because you got the goofy, funny stuff, but you also got to see them kick ass in the ring. And when we did the Fashion Files, you never really got us in the ring kicking ass. You never really got that part of it. So when we went back to NXT, they were very adamant on we still want the the fun, the goofiness, all the stuff that people love about you, but now we're going to give you matches where you're going to show what you can do in the ring, and eventually, again, it led to becoming NXT Tag Champions. So it kind of completed what me and Dango were as a tag team, where the people up on Raw and SmackDown almost felt a little ripped off that they never really got to see that up there. They got the great part, which made them care about us, but they never got the other part of it, and NXT really did a great job of completing us.
Oh yeah, but do you think if you remained on the main roster that you would be discussed because you were fresh, you went over with the fans, with us? Do you think you would be discussed as tag team champions potentially?
I don't think so. I don't think it would have ever happened up on Raw and SmackDown. Because especially too, there was a time when like we got really hot as a babyface tag team. They were really behind what we were doing. Like they loved the Fashion Files. They really liked what we were doing, and they cared about us to the point where even if we did, I think some in-ring like promo segment stuff with like the New Day and stuff like that, and we were right in there with them. You know what I mean? It wasn't way out. These random guys that nobody cares about. It was right there where they could have done something good with us. And I remember there was even 1 or 2 times where I think they were going to make the number 1 contenders, or they were going to do something. And it was the only time I've ever really thought, man, I think they kind of missed the boat on how hot we were right there. And I just don't know if they ever would have kind of really let it go. You know what I mean? It would have just kind of been what it had been, and then away we go. So I kind of think going to NXT was the right call on that.
We stay genuine, uncensored and unscripted, and we always will, as we have to order our usual. Share us and subscribe us, and stay tuned until the next Wednesday. Ikuzo!